Hello everyone! I'm Danny.
And I'm Olga.
Today, Olga and I are going to give you some tips and tricks to survive your freshman year at the Scholars Academy.
In the few months that we've experienced Scholars Academy, we know what you need to do to stay afloat. With our tips and tricks, you'll be sure not to sink under all the pressure.
In the description box below, we'll have all the times for each part, so if you're looking for a specific section, check down below.
Now let's get started.
First, we're going to give you some tips that can be used for virtually all subjects at Scholars. Stay organized. If you have everything in a place where it can be found easily, it is simpler to complete it and turn it in instead of stressing over whether you even put it in the binder in the first place. Some ways you can stay organized are by using dividers and labels, color coding your work to a corresponding subject binder with the same color by marking it like so, and regularly cleaning and organizing your papers.
You will need a lot of school supplies. The list they give you is a bit lengthy, but you'll need every single thing on it. A trick to stay on top of everything is to double up. If it says 3 packs of paper, get 6. The school supply list at Scholars lasts only for the first semester, so stock up so you'll be prepared for the second as well.
Note cards in Edmodo are a great study tool to use at all times. In regards to Edmodo, it is an easy place to share ideas and get help to study. In regards to note cards, whether you use online ones like Quizlet or use the ones by hand, they are an amazing tool to help you study. You can study with them anywhere at any time, which makes it easier and less boring to study.
Be prepared. You never know when you'll get a pop quiz. Although he doesn't mean to, Mr. McDowell usually tells us when we're going to have a pop FRQ. So use his age to your advantage so you can study more. Review the material you've been working on every week or so you'll keep the information fresh in your mind. Also, make sure you stay on top of your assignments by writing them down in your agenda.
Use your extended research time to your advantage. Extended research is a 50-minute class you'll have Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to study. This study hall is a time that you can use to study, obviously, complete homework so you have less to do at home, and have any questions you need answered. Don't abuse this time by online shopping or watching Netflix. If you use your time wisely in extended research, you'll have more time to watch Gossip Girl at home.
Our last general tip is to do your homework and study. Unlike middle school, you have to really study. You cannot just be smart and walk into a class and get 100 on a test. You have to analyze the information and to be able to apply it. If you do your homework
and turn it in,
you'll do great. The first class we're going to talk about is Advanced Placement, Government, and Politics, AP GOPO for short, and Honors Economics. For this class, you will receive 3 credits, dual credit for the government portion, a college credit, and a high school credit, plus another high school credit for the economics portion. This is a year-long class, and we alternate between AP GOPO and economics.
Our first tip is to bring Mr. McDowell Reese's Cups and Bojangles. He's happier when he has his 2 favorite foods, and he's definitely nicer.
Yeah. Talk about the Gamecocks. He loves the Gamecocks, so if you're a Clemson fan, don't tell him unless you want to be picked on him at all times.
You need to have thorough guided notes with text support. That's our third tip. Having thorough guided notes / questions means you have an understanding of the questions and can answer them in length with support from the book you're using, usually Wilson or We the People.
Wilson is your best friend. Wilson is a textbook we use all the time for a guided question. He's also good for vocabulary.
Use note cards for your vocabulary and your landmark court cases. It makes them easier to study and easily accessible.
Our sixth step is to use OIS.org for your landmark court cases. Google the court case and the link for OIS will pop up. Mr. McDowell uses quotes from the passages, so make sure you review those passages before quizzes and tests.
You're going to hate FRQs. FRQs are free response questions, similar to DBQs you've done in the past. FRQs, however, are questions that you must answer only using your knowledge on the subject. One FRQ lasts 25 minutes, and you must complete the entire thing in that 25-minute slot. At first it's hard, and you're going to hate Mr. McDowell for doing it, but at the end of the year, when final exams roll around, you'll be very glad he did it.
Yes. Our last tip is to review past quizzes because Mr. McDowell is often lazy and reuses questions. Also, it would be good to reread Wilson frequently because assessments are basically the textbook in question form.
It's true.
The second class we're going to talk about is Algebra 2. If you're going to be taking geometry first semester, that's okay because you'll have Algebra 2 second semester.
1. Do your homework. We cannot reiterate this point enough. If you do your homework and turn it in, you'll do fine. Make sure you check it on Edmodo as well.
That brings us to number 2. Check Edmodo all the time. If you don't know what Edmodo is or haven't used that website before, let me explain. Edmodo is a website schools use to share and receive information. Basically, it's like an educational Facebook minus all the drama, usually at least. For Miss Song's class, she posts the answer keys for homework and she reminds us about quizzes and tests. Do not copy the answer key and say check it. She can tell if you've done your homework or not.
Tutoring is available. Ms. Zong has tutoring in her room every Wednesday and Friday unless she has canceled it for the day. You can go into her room, work on your homework, you can study, and or ask for help from your classmates and Ms. Zong. She's always more than willing to help you. Just ask.
The third class we're going to be talking about is English 2. This is a year-long class unlike Algebra 2 and Physical Science.
1. Ms. Sellers is always ready to help. You can go to her if you have any questions regarding your homework or something you're having trouble with. She'll be more than happy to answer your questions and give reasoning behind it if you're still confused.
Use text support on all your assignments. Ms. Sellers will take off points if you don't. She wants text support to show you not only that you understand the information, but that you can also apply text support for your opinions.
3. Keep up with the weekly calendars that Ms. Sellers gives you. They tell you what's going on in the week and what you should suspect. Make sure that you highlight important things such as tests and quizzes so you can recognize and know what they are. And I have to fix that. Go.
The final class we're going to talk about is Physical Science. This is only a one-semester class, which means you'll only take half of the freshman year.
First tip, take thorough notes. Taking detailed notes will be helpful when studying, and it can also provide a clear understanding of the subject.
Pay attention. Don't slack off in Mr. Taru's class. If you don't, you'll be confused and she moves really fast.
Our third tip is don't talk. She's pretty harsh and will punish you with pop quizzes and embarrass you in front of the whole class.
Now that you know our secret weapons, hopefully you'll survive. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm Olga.
And I'm Danny. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!
Hello everyone. I'm Olga.
And I'm Danny.
The final class we're going to talk about is Physical Science. Oh, I forgot. Sorry.
First, we're going to tell you some tips and tricks you can use for the. First, we're going to give you some tips so you can use for virtually all subjects at Scholars Academy. Our first tip is that being organized really does pay off.
Oops.
If you have. 3.
Hello everyone.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Olga.
Today, Olga and I are going to give you some tips and tricks to survive your freshman year at the Scholars Academy.
In the first few months that we've experienced Scholars Academy, we know what you need to do to stay afloat. With our tips and tricks, you'll be sure not to sink under all the pressure.
In the description box below, we'll have times for each part of the video, so if you're looking for a specific section, check down below.
Now let's get started.
Overall tips and tricks box screen. First, we're going to give you some tips that can be used for virtually all subjects at Scholars. First, being organized does pay off. If you have everything in a place where it can be found easily, it will be simpler to complete and turn in instead of stressing over whether or not you put it in that binder at all. Some ways you can stay organized are using dividers and labels, color coding your work to a specific subject with the same color by marking it with a highlighter or a pen. See? Green, green. Green, green. And regularly cleaning and organizing your papers.
You will need a lot of school supplies. The list you will get is a bit lengthy, but you need to get everything on the list. A good trick is to stay on top is to double up on everything. If it says 3 packs of paper, buy 6. The school supply list at Scholars lasts only for 1 semester, so stock up so you'll be prepared for the second semester as well.
Tip 3. Note cards and Edmodo are a great study tool to use at all times. In regards to Edmodo, it's an easy place to share ideas and get help to study. In regards to note cards, whether you use online cards like Quizlet or make them by hand, they're an amazing tool to help you study. You can study with them anywhere at any time, so it makes them easier and less boring to study.
Be prepared. You never know when you'll get a pop quiz. Sorry. Oh,